11 o'clock. That's the second hour of three-man front here on this Wednesday. Appreciate our Vegas insider Brian Edwards going heavy on the MAC early in the season.
I love it.
Buffalo, the Bulls.
Love it.
Plus 17.5 at Minnesota, who won national championships back in the 30s in college football. But he also likes Miami of Ohio, Chuck Martin. I was looking at their place kicker situation since Graham Nicholson got kidnapped before last season. Mm-hmm. And they've got a guy named Dom Diozabin.
Sounds like he belongs in the Southeastern Conference.
Sounds like a pharmaceutical.
Did you say pharmaceutical?
He does. The last name sounds like something
you
see
a
a commercial.
We've got a new trial drug. It's called Diozabin.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, it helps with.
Side effects could be liver failure.
Yeah.
Kidney failure. Loose bowel.
Mm-hmm.
Eyes water.
Yeah.
Leg cramping.
Rash. Loss of limbs.
All of the above.
Uncontrollable.
Loss of eyesight. Loss of hearing.
Oh, that's fun.
Well, something else that's a lot of fun is the Jocks Kickoff Party. So you can celebrate the kickoff to college football with us at the Bill Smith Buick GMC Jocks Kickoff Party. It's going to be Thursday, August 21st at Regions Field, and the only way to go is by winning tickets. So to win a pair of tickets for you and a guest, text the keyword football and your full name to 205-834-9450. That's the keyword football and your full name to 205-834-9450. Winners are drawn and notified daily. And for more information, visit jocksfm.com.
So Ty Simpson has officially been named the starting quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator for the Tide, he met with the media yesterday, and he gives details on why Ty Simpson was named QB1.
I didn't know about the opening statement. Hey, guys, Ty Simpson's our starter. How's that? Pretty good? Okay, let her ride. What do we got?
Why is Ty Simpson your starter?
There we go. Good follow-up. Ty did a really nice job of, taking care of the football. I think, number one, I think Ty is an incredible playmaker on the move. And I think from there, guys like that, you worry, are they going to be able to train themselves to be able to take care of the football? And even the room in general, Ty led that charge. But Ty didn't throw any picks last week. He's thrown one all camp. We've thrown 4 total this camp. And this spring, I think at this time we had thrown 15. So I think in general, the guys are understanding the concepts and control of the offense a lot better as a room, and Ty was the best at that. And so his ability to command and create out of the pocket, I thought was the best, make great decisions. And he's just much cleaner on some of the things that you expect an older quarterback to be able to do.
Let's hear from QB1. Ty Simpson says this is a dream come true being QB1 in Tuscaloosa.
It's a dream come true. I came here out of high school wanting to be the starting quarterback, and I'm just excited, and I can't, thank my teammates enough for making me look good, and I'm ready for the opportunity.
How happy are you that you sat back for 3 years, sat as a backup? How happy are you now that you made the decision to stay with Alabama?
Yeah, I think it's abnormal for sure to, not transfer in today's day and age. But, I don't regret it at all. I love being here. I love my teammates. I love this university. I learned a lot from the guys that played before me, like Bryce and Jalen. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, and then the guys behind me, like Keelan and Austin. I think that they pushed me and elevated my game to a game that it's never seen before. So we're going to continue to grow each and every day as a quarterback room as a group, and I'm excited about it.
It'll be interesting now, the battle for number 2 in Tuscaloosa. Austin Mack, Keelan Russell. That battle will continue as the second scrimmage for the Tide will be coming up on Saturday. Meanwhile, Auburn spent a good bit of time in the first hour of the show talking about the ongoing question about play calling.
Three-headed monster.
Down on the Plains. We've got plenty of text messages coming in at 205-834-9450. Some of you have taken umbrage to us even discussing it, which I'm kind of perplexed why people would have a problem with that. We mentioned it. We had not heard that. We had someone send us an article that the Montgomery Advertiser had a story about it last year.
It was not a criticism. It was more of a fascination. Wow, you got 3 different guys that are calling plays on 3 different downs. If that's the norm for you, fine. And if somebody else, you knew about it last season, fine. This is the first I heard of it.
Yeah, first I heard of it.
My understanding was it was Derek Nix and it was Hugh Freeze. And yes, Ken Austin would have influence
and input.
Of course, he could offer input, game planning, working with the quarterbacks. That was his deal. Had no idea that he was the specific third down guy. Hope it works. Who's in the red zone? That's my question.
Well, they finished.
They were great 20-20 last year.
They were 6th in the SEC in total offense last year.
Yeah.
So better than Alabama.
So for the Auburn fans that are getting defensive, this is not a criticism. Not coming from me. I don't think it's a criticism coming from Pat. No, it may be for Crimson Conrad.
It is not from me. It is. But again, this is from the coach's mouth. This is not something that we are making up out of thin air or something that we saw randomly. This is coming from them speaking with the media earlier this week, and this is how they laid out how the play calling works. And if it worked last year, as Pat said, they were 6th in the conference in offense, clearly it worked. So you don't have a problem here. But we just hadn't heard of it, and it's an interesting conversation. Because there's probably a lot of people listening that go, how would that work?
I've never been watching a TV game where they go, all right, there's a good look. He calls it on first down. There's a good look. It seems like that would be highlighted in a broadcast at some point.
Yeah, and it's also something that under Gus Malzahn, that was an open criticism that a lot of Auburn fans and just college football fans, because he would start the season by saying that, okay, this is the person that is calling plays. And then you start watching an Auburn football game, and Gus Malzahn was the one calling the plays. Yeah. So quit with the farce.
Talk to one of his former offensive coordinators in the Shuttlesworth Airport. Have that conversation for an hour.
Yeah. I mean, Gus Malzahn overruled and basically was the play caller, but he told the media it was somebody else. And then
they had certain plays that they could only call.
And then the next year, Gus Malzahn would come out and say, well, I'm gonna take over play calling again. And it just was all convoluted. And that's fine if it works. I don't care if you got a committee of 20.
Well, and ultimately, the head coach should have veto power.
Absolutely.
It all falls on him. He's the one that is going to have to answer the questions at the press conference of why did you call this? So, again, not a criticism. I think it's very interesting. Wonder if there are more programs out there doing this, and we just don't know about it.
And that was my question.
They should probably write a story so their local media can talk about it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Auburn was extremely consistent last year. They were 6th overall in SEC total offense. They were 6th in passing offense, and they were 7th in rushing offense. So, I mean, they were very consistent on both sides of the ball. Granted, it was not the efficiency that Auburn fans needed because they didn't win enough games to be bowl eligible. But from just a pure statistical category, Auburn's offense performed better than Alabama's.
Yep.
And to my knowledge, there was only one person calling the plays at Alabama. And that was Nick Sheridan.
I think that's going to look a lot different this year.
Yeah, pretty much so. We'd love to hear from you on the text line, 205-834-9450, 1-800-239-WJOX. So I saw this yesterday. Steve Sarkisian, he was asked after their practice about the coaches poll. This is the first time ever that the University of Texas has been a preseason #1 team, according to the coaches poll. So he was asked about the coaches poll and why he's not involved as a voter.
It just takes time. And honestly, to be fair, I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to know? Like, I don't have time on Saturday to watch. Who am I to say that team's better than that team? Shoot, I'm in the hotel getting ready to play. We play, then I got to come visit with you guys for however long, and then I got to go see recruits, and then I want to see my family, and then I want to watch the tape of our game, and all the while there might be Sports Center or something. Oh, that was a cool touchdown they just ran. Like, I don't know. And to be fair, I don't know how I could know. And so and the polls were awesome. If it were the old model, I would have taken the time and I would be a voter. But we're in a whole different era. It's a whole different game. Like the playoff, the coaches poll, I don't know what that means, quite frankly. What it means is, man, you better try to be one of the top 12 teams when the committee votes. Right. Now, if they're looking at the coaches poll, shame on them, right? Yep. They got to look at the tape and figure out who the best teams are.
But they're absolutely looking at the coaches poll. I'm glad he said that.
They're looking at everything.
Yes.
I'm just glad we know how he would have voted in our poll question yesterday. He would have picked they were all meaningless.
Well, he's also playing a little bit of Nick Saban there. It's rat poison.
Yeah.
It's because his team was preseason number 1 in the coaches poll. So he's just trying to point out that.
Oh, how do they really know how good we are? We haven't earned anything yet.
No.
Which is not wrong, but it's just this argument over the last couple of years. Then fully embrace the NFL model. Do exactly what the Big Ten wants to do. I'm not advocating that. I'm just telling you, if more people want to go the route of the NFL like we're paying players and you want to have collective bargaining, then just have the college football playoffs be exactly like it is in the NFL. You have wild card teams, you have division winners, and that's the way it's set up. That's how the bracket is made. And do away with the committee. That's what ultimately it's going to have to come down to anyway. When you get down to just the 65, 66 teams that's going to be able to play big boy football. So go ahead and do it now. So I think that's where he was going with that angle. But don't disagree with what he said. That's why sports information directors, most of the time, they're the ones that will come in and say, hey, coach, this is the ballot that I'm submitting under your name this week. Are you okay with that? And they do a quick once-over, and they go, fire it in. Good to go. Now, maybe the final one, that's when the coaches poll actually names how they voted in the final one. It's not like the AP. The AP is completely transparent. You get the AP every single week. You see the ballots of all 65.
If Sark doesn't have time to do it and he hands it off to his assistant, not coach, but his assistant, whether it's SID, whoever, to do it, why are we calling it the coaches poll? And do you really believe that SID didn't have a whole lot to do on a game Saturday? I mean, they had a whole lot of time to watch all these other games.
What percent of coaches do you think actually are the ones that cast their own ballots?
I still think that there's an old school group that will do it.
But do you think the majority of coaches do it? Or are we talking 25%?
I think it's about that number.
I think 25%.
Yeah, I don't think it's the majority, no. But especially this time of the year and at the very beginning of the season before the college football playoff rankings come out, we gravitate to it.
I do believe in some cases, though, if you got a big game against another top-ranked opponent, you have had instances where a coach will vote for that opponent higher or tell them vote it higher.
Yeah.
I don't want to – if it helps, I don't want our team overlooking these guys.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So it's pretty interesting, him kind of going off on that. So
I respect the honesty. Doesn't have time for it.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, if you probably don't want your head coach watching all the other games and keeping up with all the other teams, you want them focused on your program.
Nope. Are you tired of worrying about your roof? Whether it's your family home or a commercial building, Abide Roofing delivers tailored solutions for every need. At Abide, it's about more than just a new roof. It's about a team of highly skilled pros who bring their A game every job they do. The work, the precision, the pride, using only the best materials to guarantee durability and lasting value. With over 25 years of trusted experience, they have the expertise to get the job done right the first time. We know dealing with the insurance companies can also be a hassle at times, so don't let that hold you back. The experts at Abide Roofing are masters of navigating the claims process to get you the coverage you deserve. They helped me. I had some problems. My insurance company, they were dragging their feet. Travis Lloyd, outstanding, one of the owners there at Abide Roofing, he got on my roof and he was able to discuss and get that approved through my insurance company. So I got a brand new roof. Your journey with Abide Roofing starts with a free consultation and an estimate. There's no obligation, just solid advice. Ready to get started? Call them today, 205-941-6223. That's 941-6223. Or visit their website, abideroof.com. That's Abide Roofing. Quality, precision, and customer satisfaction every single time at Abide Roofing.
One college football program just got a very generous gift. We'll discuss it as we continue. It's a Wednesday, a three-man front on Jocks.
Here's a name from the past. You remember Tom Dundon? He is the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes. He was the brief owner of the Alliance of American Football. That included the Birmingham Iron. Remember, he came in mid-season. He was going to save the AAF. He was going to get everything straightened out, make sure everyone got paid. And then about 2 weeks later, he said, yep, this thing's fraudulent. We're gone. We're out. Shutting it down.
Yep.
And that's what happened. Well, he owns the Carolina Hurricanes in the National Hockey League. He has just purchased an NBA franchise. He is buying the Portland Trailblazers from Paul Allen's estate. So he will now own a major franchise on the East Coast and the West Coast.
Has Portland gotten any better, the city?
I do not know that.
Okay.
The basketball team's not what it used to be either. So
you think it got a discount?
They've had a rough couple years since.
You talking about back in the days of Kersey, Drexler?
Well, yes, back in those days, but
Duckworth.
Even more, yes, because they do have a pretty storied history as a franchise. But even in the last 10 years, they've been pretty good until the last couple of years.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour,
they're doomed to fail now.
From CBS,
apparently so.
Shehan Jeyarajah. He is going to join the program, and we'll talk some national college football. He is based out of the Metroplex in Dallas, Texas. He has covered the Big 12 for a very long time, but he covers the national college football scene. So he will join us at the bottom of the hour. Top of the hour, Tyler McComas from the Ref, KREF Radio in Norman, Oklahoma. He will join the program. We will get the very latest on what's going on. And Conrad, our Twitter poll question of the day, we're just basically asking a very simple question about John Mateer.
Yeah, and I can't take credit for this, unfortunately, because we had one of our wonderful texters this morning throughout this. But how about for a nickname, Moneyline Mateer?
That's good.
I feel like that's a pretty...
I like that.
I feel like that one can catch on pretty quickly. But yes, you can go to our Twitter page at the number 3man front and vote in today's poll question, which reads, do you believe that Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer, when he says the Venmo Sports gambling screenshots were just harmless inside jokes with his buddies? Yes or no? 63% of you saying no, you don't believe that it was just an inside joke. 37% of you say yes, it was just a joke, no gambling to be seen here. So about 2/3 of you think he's a liar.
We will talk to Tyler McComas at noon.
I don't totally buy that either. You going to cut up with him on the Venmo app?
Well, and I just think, and to be fair, yes, at least for me, right, when I Venmo my friend's stuff, it's normally stupid captions. I've never put sports gambling for one.
It frustrates me that I have to put anything in the memo line.
I would agree with that. I wish you could just send the money and not have to do that. But it's the definitive statement of, I've never gambled before. I think that's where a lot of people go, we sure you wanted to phrase it that way? But who knows? Maybe he's squeaky clean.
How about the University of Kansas athletic program? They receive an unprecedented $300 million gift from their donor, David Booth. It's believed to be among the largest single gifts in the history of college athletics. Cody, you're on the clock.
I just saw a picture that somebody posted of Ryan Williams, DJ Lagway, and Jeremiah Smith when they were doing the EA Sports video game shoots. And it said, I just found a picture of Kansas's transfer portal class for next offseason.
Kansas plans to allocate $75 million of the $300 million towards launching the second phase of its ongoing transformation of David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium and construction of the surrounding Gateway District. They have not revealed a timetable for construction and completion of Phase 2. But the funds are going to allow Kansas to move forward with renovating the east side of the stadium for the 2025 football season. The remainder of Booth's gift will establish an annual additional revenue stream for Kansas athletics. So there's your slush fund.
So that second phase, I think, is going to cost around $360 million. So he's given $300 million. And I understand, I think the city of Lawrence, Kansas had a meeting last night in which they have allocated, I think, $90 million to the project.
Just for the stadium renovation?
Just for the second phase 2, which is supposed to include, if I'm not mistaken, new hotel, outdoor event plaza, student housing, retail.
Oh, so we're doing like a battery
spaces.
Type thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So the Jayhawks will open the season with their first home game at the new stadium on August 23rd against Fresno State. And it looks great.
Yeah, it does.
It looks really nice.
Yeah, Kansas put out a video this morning. It had the donor, the alumni, kind of going through his history with Kansas, but it showed, I guess, some projections of what the stadium will look like. Yeah, it's pretty immaculate.
Yeah, it looks very good. And David Booth is a hedge fund guy. He got his undergrad, I believe his finance degree from Kansas, his master's degree. in business, and he has done extremely well for himself. Every type of big board in New York, I'm talking about for the arts, he gives a lot of money to art galleries and things of that nature.
Forbes estimates his net worth $2.8 billion.
Well, now it's only 2.5 after the check.
Well, but after today,
sure, it's a tax haven. Sure.
This is helping him out as well.
Yeah,
that's a remarkable amount of money.
Yeah, he was wanting to give right before the pandemic. He wanted to give money to just do some upgrades at the stadium. And to Kansas's credit, they said, hold up. We need to think bigger here. Like, we just don't need to put lipstick on a pig here. Like, we need to go bigger and bold. And he said, hey, all right, let's work something out. Give us a plan. And they came up with this plan. Of course, the pandemic kind of held it back a little bit. But a couple of years ago, when they decided to basically tear the whole thing down.
I wonder if this is a situation of Bill Self and Lance Leipold going and saying, look, we got this power forward. We got to get him. We've got this quarterback, this running back. We've got to get him. And you go to Booth, and you go to Booth, and you go to Booth. And finally Booth says, look, I quit.
This is everything I will give you.
Here is a $300 million check. Use this responsibly. Don't ask me for any more money.
I was about to say, put my name on the stadium. We're good to go. We're done here.
I wonder if he's an animal lover and he's like, hey, we're going to allow live mascots in my stadium.
You're just going to go buy a bunch of Jayhawks?
You know, that's one of the stadiums that doesn't allow it.
Really? I did not know that.
And Bevo wasn't allowed to go there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, time to step up, Tim Cook, right?
Pressure wash.
That won't cost $300 million. Do it for cheap. Mike Griffith will do it for free, honestly. He wants to see it done so badly.
Yeah, and then I saw this morning, and everyone's looking for revenue streams. And I saw where West Virginia signed a deal with a mulch company, which is one of the largest mulch companies apparently in the United States.
It's not the Tennessee guy, right?
No, it's not the guy that defrauded all those people.
Pines Trunk.
No, it's not him.
Falcon or whatever.
And you saw where South Carolina earlier this week, they did the deal with Caterpillar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, on the field?
I understand that's also, there's money involved in that, but that's the company that's going to be doing the stadium renovations at Williams-Brice.
Oh, so you probably got a little discount on the renovations a little bit.
There's some stuff going on there. Nothing illegal. I'm just saying, a little barter action.
Yeah.
Which is all legal.
Auburn needs to hit up Tim Cook. Have that apple. Have that Apple logo right there around the numbers.
On the 20s? On the 25s?
Yeah, and do it in orange and blue and white. Look good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so I would not have guessed this. The David Booth, the Kansas guy, he's worth more money than Tim Cook. I would not have guessed that.
He's kind of had a head start on Tim Cook.
Yeah.
He's had a lot more time to invest that portfolio, probably a little bit deeper.
Tim hides his money in charities.
He
gives back.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess obviously a lot of that,
I said
the money that
hides.
went to Steve Jobs, but still.
I think they're both very philanthropical.
I mean, when
charitable.
if my net worth was $2.5 billion, I think I'd be okay.
All right, coming up next, we're going to talk a little national college football with Shehan Jeyarajah. He joins the show next. We're just a little over a week away from the start of the college football season. We are so happy to be joined now on the Higginbotham Hotline here on Three Man Front on Jocks. Shehan Jeyarajah, he joins the program from CBS Sports. So, Shehan, thanks for joining us, and welcome to the program here in the Deep South.
Having me. It's an honor to be on.
Well, listen, we appreciate it very much. And before we get into the national scene, we've just been talking about this incredible gift that David Booth has given the University of Kansas. We were just remarking about how incredible that new stadium renovation looks in Lawrence. And you've covered the Big 12 for a good while. Just talk about how this and the David Booth's family and everything that they've done for that Kansas program, how they have really put this program back on the map in regards to competition, especially with Lance Leipold.
Yeah, it's fascinating, right? I was doing some research on David Booth this morning. Obviously, their stadium's been named David Booth Stadium for a very long time. And it's fascinating. He is the same David Booth that, like, the University of Chicago's business school is named after. He is a big-time philanthropist in the college world. And he has been huge from a football perspective. You know, a lot of programs, especially those with good basketball programs, are pulling away from football, are unwilling to invest at the highest level. And, you know, for a lot of the 2010s, that was the case at Kansas. But I think the combination of David Booth, of Lance Leipold, of their new AD, Travis Goff, who's been there for a few years, they have reinvested in football. And I think they look around and they know, hey, during the last round of realignment, there probably was a piece that made us a little less attractive, that we have been miserable on the football field for so long. Well, they are doubling down in a big way, whether that is giving a competitive number in revenue share to the football program, whether that is revamping and building a whole lot of a new facility. And they're also creating a massive entertainment district around the Kansas football stadium. So they're hoping that all of this can ultimately lead to this being a destination football program. And again, this is something that even just 5 years ago, you never would have believed.
The Baylor Bears, Auburn Tigers coming up on a Friday night in Waco. Much anticipated, obviously, in this part of the country. You really like this Baylor team, and part of that is the way that they finished the 2024 season. When you look at Dave Aranda heading into this season with the expectations that are there, the quarterback and the running back tandem that they have, what presents the biggest challenges for Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers heading into Waco?
Well, I think that they just have the chance to be really dynamic offensively. They've got a quarterback in Sawyer Robertson that I would argue is a top 2 quarterback in the Big 12, along with Sam Levitt at Arizona State. They've got the best running back in the Big 12 in Bryson Washington. They've got 4 starters back on an offensive line that was pretty good. They've revamped their receiving core with Sawyer coming back and bring back 2 of their top receivers and also a really, really good tight end, and Michael Trigg, who came over from Ole Miss last year and broke out. So they're just super dynamic offensively. Now, the place where I think Auburn might be able to get them and where I think Hugh Freeze really has to try to hit their buttons is they are rebuilding in the secondary. They were a struggling pass unit last year, and Auburn, of course, has maybe a top 3 wide receiver core in the entire country. So a lot's going to be on that passing game to deliver quickly because Baylor has the ability to put up points in a hurry, and Auburn's going to have to keep up.
In regards to these coaches' polls, we've been debating whether they're relevant or not any longer. We know the CFP, that's the ultimate voice of what happens when it comes to the top teams in college football. But as you look at these preseason polls, whether it's the AP or the coaches' poll that came out, was there one particular team or two that really surprised you, whether they were too high or too low in the preseason rankings?
Yeah, I mean, I think overall the polls are pretty good, but I don't know that I see the vision on Michigan right now. Like, I know that 2 years ago they won a national championship. They ended the year on a hot streak, of course, beating Ohio State and Alabama in the final 2 games. But so many of the best players from even 2024 Michigan are gone. Guys like Colson Leveland, like Mason Graham, like Will Johnson. And look, they obviously bring in the number 1 overall recruit at quarterback in Bryce Underwood, but he's going to have to get ready right away. In week 2, they play Oklahoma on the road, and I think that they're probably going to lose that game. So for them to finish, or to start the year rather, in the preseason top 15, I understand the respect that they're given, and I think it's probably deserved. I just don't see them as that level of team at this point.
What about the Clemson Tigers and Dabo Swinney? A lot of expectations there and a lot of reason to be excited if you're a Tiger fan.
Yeah, I'm very, very high on this team. And I'll tell you what, I think that you look around right now, there were 6 teams that got first place votes in the preseason AP Top 25, which is the most since 2016. Ironically, one of the years that Clemson won a national title. I think that Clemson is one of these teams that can get into that number 1 conversation at some point in the year. When you look at what they bring back, it's not at one place, it's everywhere, right? defensive line, they have not just the best defensive line in the country, but the best by a pretty wide margin, in my opinion, with guys like Peter Woods on that unit. I think that last year in the second half of the season, and especially when they played Texas, I think they got a chance to show out. This is a Clemson wide receiver core that looks more like Clemson. When you look at their struggles over the first couple of years post-2020, receiver was what I would argue was actually their biggest problem, even more than the quarterback position. So I think that they're going to be dynamic there. They've got a quarterback in Cade Klubnik who's going to at least contend to be one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the country. And so I think that this is looking, again, like a real Clemson team. We kind of had that blip in the middle between 2020 and maybe 2023 where it felt like they were trying to fight back to getting back to business. I think that they're finally back, and I expect them to be a legitimate national title contender this year.
Shehan Jeyarajah, he joins the program from CBS Sports talking national college football. Got to ask you about the Southeastern Conference. We were all wringing our hands over in Atlanta at SEC Media Days before we posted our votes. The top 4 teams kind of intermingling, kind of mix them up in a bag and pull them out. And the majority of folks said Texas was the team, but you got Georgia, Bama, LSU potentially. From your perspective, Shehan, what do you like in the Southeastern Conference this year?
Well, there's a lot to like. And just like nationally how I think there are a lot of contenders, I think there are a lot of teams that can break into the contender group this year. I ultimately picked Texas as my number 1 team in the SEC, but I think it's kind of a statement of how much parity there is that the number 1 team in the SEC and in the country is a team that replaces 3 offensive linemen and their quarterback and their receivers. So, like, they are absolutely gettable in 2025, just like they were in 24. A team that I'd like to maybe overperform is LSU. When you look at what they brought in the portal, and you always have to be a little wary of relying too much on portal commitments, I think they've done a great job of being targeted, especially in the secondary. They brought in a couple transfers who have big-time production under their belts at the power conference level. I'm thinking of somebody like Mansur Delane coming over as a cornerback from Virginia Tech, AJ Halsey as a safety from Houston. I think that these are just the kind of players that they did not have during some of their struggles last year. And by my money, I think that Garrett Nussmeier is the best returning quarterback right now in the SEC. And I think he's going to have a really good chance to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft next year if he shows out the way that I think that he could. So, you know, I think that LSU is one of those teams that really have the ability to overperform, but go down the list. I mean, Georgia, I think Alabama is undervalued right now. There's so many teams that I think have the ability to get into that contender conversation.
When we go back big picture nationally, Shehan, what is that team that could potentially be last year's version of Indiana?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know, there's a couple that come to mind, right? I think of, well, in Indiana, right, like it's such a unique situation because you're talking about, 40 years of lackluster play. But, when you talk about teams that maybe can push their way into the conversation, I'll give you 2. One is Utah, which maybe they're not under the radar anymore because, they're if you look at FanDuel, they're the favorite to win the Big 12. I don't know that I'd have them there, but I do think that they are a team that over the last 2 years had as bad an offense as there was in the power conferences. And their floor is going to be so much higher with the offense that they bring in with Jason Beck, the offensive coordinator from New Mexico. That was the only offense in the country last year to produce 2,000-yard rushers, including the quarterback that came over with them, Devin Dampier, to Utah as well as part of that acquisition. And so I think that their floor is going to be much higher than people realize. And a sort of off the radar one, I think that Duke is a lot better than people realize. They won 9 games last year, and they feel like they upgraded in a big way at the quarterback position. They feel like they can be a potential ACC contender if some things break right for them. And they get Clemson in the middle of the year, but every other game on their schedule is very, very winnable, including a big matchup against Illinois in week 2 that could help launch them to the national stage. So again, for them, they're going to have to probably go 11-1 to have a chance to make the playoff, but I think that's on the table.
I have to ask you about the college football playoff expansion. So much discussion in the offseason about a 5-11, automatic qualifiers. When the dust finally settles before December 1st, where are we in regards to the college football playoff expansion?
I think that if you ask me at this moment, I think that we're not going to have a new agreement, and I think we're going to go into 2026 looking like we're going to do a 5+7, the same 12-team playoff that we had last year and this year. Now, eventually, I expect we're going to end up at a 16-team with a 5+11 model, because here's the reality. When everybody in college football is against the Big Ten on an issue, I just don't think that gives them a whole lot of wiggle room. And every other stakeholder here wants it to be only 5 auto bids. And frankly, I mean, I've been on the record about this. The idea of 4 guaranteed auto bids for the SEC and the Big Ten to me is frankly like non-competitive. It's like anti-competitive to me at a certain point, right? Like why should the team that finishes 4th in the Big Ten, regardless of where they finish in the rankings, be guaranteed a spot? And frankly, I mean, how many years will there not be 4 teams that deserve a spot? I don't understand this desire to try to guarantee your 4th best team a spot, because ultimately I think it really ruins kind of the nature of conference championship races as well. I loved the fact that Clemson was able to pull an upset and get their way in the ACC title game. I think that that's how it should be, and I think that conference championships should be considered really valuable. So I think that by the time that 2026 comes around, probably we're looking at a 5+11, but I don't think it's going to be decided by December of this year.
I don't disagree at all. That is Shehan Jeyarajah. You can follow his work there at cbssports.com. Hope you come back, Shehan. We really appreciate your time and your insight. It should be a really fun college football season about to kick off next week.
Well, I named Birmingham as one of my top 4 college football cities in the country, so I would love to come back anytime.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. That is Shehan Jeyarajah joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. All of our guests join us on that hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, speaking of college football, sports, and music, there's no better place in town to enjoy those 2 things than the Finnick. The Finnick is your front row seat to the best entertainment, massive screens that got explosive sound from every seat in the house. The experience is bigger, brighter, and bolder. And their new restaurant menus we're cheering for, with wings that win MVPs, wood-fired grilled burgers stacked like your fantasy team, steaks so good you'll forget there's a game on. On top of that, they get delicious salads, fresh seafood, large selection of Finnick beverages. The Finnick's new 6-day schedule includes live acoustic acts. That's today through Friday, Wednesday through Friday from 5:30 until 8, followed by live bands at 10 o'clock on Fridays. Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays, they're dedicated to sports. When all the video screens, all the video boards throughout the house with the music or turned down, it's not going to get in the way. You'll actually have the big game. So Alabama's playing a big game, Auburn, Baylor. You're going to turn that sound up so you can enjoy it as a fan. Our friends at the Finnick. Go and check them out. We can't wait to see you there. 1630 2nd Avenue South near Railroad Park.
What a great interview with Shehan, and we will kind of dissect some of the things he said, including maybe a possible upset, Duke knocking off Illinois. Would Burt be okay with that? Would Bielema and company? We'll get into that. Top of the hour, we'll go to Oklahoma and find out what's going on with Moneyline Mateer. That's next on 3-Man Front. So we're 7 hours and 11 minutes away from the podcast, New Heights, in which Taylor Swift will be a guest on the program.
Threading the needle.
Not sure if they're going to hit the 144 million, which is the record for a podcast episode, which was hosted by Yasser El-Huzami.
The Love Doctor.
How to Succeed in Relationships. Or the Joe Rogan, Elon Musk podcast that garnered around 67 million viewers. But I will tell you this. When it was announced that she was coming on to the podcast, New Heights Instagram account got 312,817 new followers.
It's a lot of followers.
Make you change your notification settings.
Mm-hmm. Previously, before the 312,817 that have come on board, they had gathered 2,045 new followers. They were kind of stagnant. Yep. And then all of a sudden, Tay-Tay shows up on the little promo. 312,817.
You think she'll perform like she performs now, like Madonna did late into her career? You think the knees will give out?
She looks like she's in very good shape.
Yeah, she does. You got to be to do what she does.
She's going to have a Las Vegas residency one day. She's going to make a killing.
Like she needs it.
Yeah, exactly. That must be a nice luxury for her. Of if she ever wanted to stop, she could.
Oh, yeah.
And people would be upset, obviously, but she could just go and live her merry life.
Well, Coach O was able to stop, right?
Well, he was asked
and
to
he
stop.
got $16 million.
Yeah.
She's worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
So
she lives a lavish lifestyle, Andrew. She's got to keep that up.
So based on that announcement, I mentioned the 312,817 new followers on Instagram to their account. If you break it down from a percentage standpoint, it has grown 15,203.5% since the announcement that she's going to come on the show.
I'm willing to bet, and, we can give it, a week or two because people will trickle. Not everyone's going to watch it live, right? But I would assume the majority of the listeners, watchers will be in the next week, 3 days. I'm going to say
or do
25 million.
Or does it is a situation where, like, once the money clip is out on social media, you know what I'm talking about?
And then it starts to go viral and people go and check it out.
Well, no, I'm just saying how many people are going to go consume the whole thing.
Oh, no. Oh, gotcha. But I think 25 million, that's going to be my guess for the numbers that podcast does. Because there's a ton of Taylor Swift fans. Because I'm willing to bet, they probably have a couple 100,000 people that listen to their podcast regularly. And then you throw, I'd say Taylor Swift fans, it's good for 20 million of them to show up.
She is worth $1.6 billion. I did not realize that Jay-Z was worth $2.5 billion.
Oh yeah, yeah. But his money's from. He's a very, very successful businessman.
And Beyonce, she's worth $800 million.
Well, in case you guys were curious, I have some prop bets for tonight.
I love some prop bets.
Okay.
First one is the release date betting odds. So August 31st or before is plus 3,000.
Paige told me something about how apparently the album's supposed to come out like next week or something. I don't know.
That's the worst odds.
Just in time, we're kicking off the season.
Yeah.
And here she comes again.
August 1st through August 14th is minus 105.
Well, maybe the album comes out and then she has to go on tour immediately, even though she's just been touring for 3 years.
She needs to drop it.
So she won't be at the Chiefs
drop it when
games.
the NFL playoffs start. It seems like that's what we're talking about.
Let's say that she releases this album, whatever, in the next month or so. But in that time period, her and Travis break up. How quickly would she have another album ready to go of Travis Kelce breakup songs? I feel like you could get that out pretty quick.
Probably.
Is there a prop bet on marriage proposal or an announcement?
Let's see. I do not see. Oh, wait. Will they announce their engagement? Yes or no? No, minus 330. Yes, 210.
Okay.
Will Taylor announce a new tour? Yes, plus 750. No, minus 1,500. Here we go. Total YouTube views in 24 hours. Right now, looks like about 500,000 to 600,000 is plus 225.
I would think it would do way more than that.
I would think so too.
I would think more people are like the Taylor Swift fans are going to want to watch it, whereas the other, like the general listeners, will probably just.
What if you had relationship doctor from India?
There's a guest hit on it.
Yeah, with Kelce and Taylor Swift. Do you know how many hits you would get?
144 million, roughly.
More.
More.
So
what's your gut telling you, Molly, about the engagement?
I think it'll be extremely high.
Like you think that's going to happen? No, sorry. That they're going to get engaged.
Oh, I thought you meant like the engagement.
Yes,
sorry.
No, sorry. Like that they
I'm
will announce
social media engagement.
Yeah, that they will announce that they are getting married.
Is she going to ever buy the cow, or is she just going to keep getting that milk for free?
I think I would be more surprised if they did announce they were engaged. I'll be happy either way for them because they seem to be very happy, a happy couple. But I would be pretty shocked.
If they announced it. That just doesn't seem like the way you would announce that, but I don't know.
I agree, but you never know.
Also, what's Jason going to be doing the whole time? Is he on?
Did you see his intro?
No, I didn't.
Oh. They posted his intro that he did for her.
My future sister-in-law.
Well, if Travis needs to retire, she can just come on every week, and then he'll probably make more money doing the podcast than as a player.
Speaking of making money, how much money did Moneyline Mateer make at Washington State? John Mateer, the starting quarterback for Oklahoma yesterday, he released a statement denying that he ever gambled on anything.
Wasn't me.
Doesn't do it.
Wasn't me.
Tyler McComas, who covers the Oklahoma Sooners for KREF Radio, he will join us next. We'll get the lowdown, what's happening with their star quarterback. That's straight ahead right here on Jocks.